Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's stream. We are on episode 11, and I genuinely didn't expect to get to episode 10 on this podcast, so thank you so much for being here with us. Last podcast is doing very well on the YouTube channel, so thank you very much for the support. Honestly, it is amazing. Today's podcast, we've got quite a few interesting topics in my opinion. A lot has happened this week. Every single nerd has had a nerdgasm because DC have literally shit a bunch of stuff on us, and it looks amazing. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves and Flight Simulator recently with the two co-hosts we're playing with, so I'm going to talk about that as well. Having a lot of fun on that, and you're going to see a lot more from that on the Twitch channel and on our YouTube channel as well, or my YouTube channel, sorry. And lastly, Call of Duty Black Ops has had some leaks and is being revealed tomorrow, so I wanted to speak a little bit about that. Both my co-hosts aren't the most interested in that, but it's something I just want to talk about, as it does take me back to my days of gaming and is very interesting in general. Anyway, shall we introduce our two co-hosts? I think we shall. Hello, you two. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I'm as good as when you asked a few seconds ago, actually.
I'm glad. I should stop doing that. I should stop saying hello and then doing it a second time when the scenes haven't transitioned yet. That's been the best intro we've done for a long time, in my opinion. Much better than normal. But as mentioned in it, it looks like we've got a good podcast. I have made the great mistake of not talking to you about what I wanted to talk about. But it has been in news, gaming news, quite big news at least in my opinion. At least the DC stuff, that's definitely been in the spotlight. And there's something I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you two are DC fans. I'm more of a Marvel fan, but I am actually very excited for everything that's coming up.
I will take or leave either one. Also, I'd just like to apologise now for last week's podcast being awful. Since I wasn't here. I'm still not finished watching it.
It genuinely was the worst podcast, yet it's the most viewed. I don't understand that.
Oh yeah, we're at 26 views by the way somehow.
I don't understand
really
that.
Horrible. I don't want that representing me.
For context, the rest of them have an average of like 3 to 4 views, and that one just came out of nowhere with 20. Like, I don't understand. I didn't share it. I don't know if anybody else did. Who knows?
No,
maybe there's YouTube got an algorithm where if you upload 10 videos, they just promote it more.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know, but it's good to see it's doing well, and honestly, yeah, thank you very much for that. Hopefully this one does just as well. So, what I wanted to talk about, as mentioned in the title, is I wanted to start us off with the DC universe and the fact that they have literally revealed what I know of is 3 major projects that are coming out soon.
Well, we could tell you of 10.
Yeah, I reckon I got 10 on my mind. Did you hear 10 pieces of news, Phelan?
I did actually 10. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
You guys are going to have to fill out the rest of the other 7, as I point out that there are 2 Suicide Squads announcements, being the new game coming out, apparently being in the same universe as Arkham Asylum, which I'm actually kind of excited for. And looking at it, obviously, it being a pre-rendered cutscene, it does look very good, and it's coming out next year, so I've got high hopes for that. As well as the new, Suicide Squad film. That looks very good. I've got high hopes for that. Honestly,
that is exciting.
Oh my god! They've got some of the best.
I can't believe they didn't get Will Smith back. He was the only good thing about the first one.
Will Smith would have been a good.
Gone.
I didn't watch the first one because I didn't care for it or anyone that was acting in it.
Free showing.
I should clarify in terms of where I stand in the Geek Wars. I'm not a DC fan. I'm not a Marvel fan. I don't like comic books. I do like graphic novels, but I don't like the sort of tropes that exist in most Western comics. I just find them really irritating to read. But I have watched pretty much every single Marvel movie that has ever released in the MCU, and I think absolutely 0 DC movies. I genuinely don't think I've seen a single DC movie in my life.
I have watched a handful of either. and have no strong opinions towards either
But yeah,
one.
I will definitely say that Marvel is definitely overrated in a lot of areas.
They had a better.
For Ragnarok's the best Marvel movie come out.
Oh,
now.
Most definitely.
Watch that one.
I can't pronounce his name. God damn it. The director for Ragnarok is. Yeah, the director for Ragnarok is a great director. Jojo Rabbit was a great film.
Taika Waititi.
He's also in the new Suicide Squad, but from all the footage we've seen, at least I haven't been able to find him in it. So I'm curious to see what role he plays. It might be a voiceover, or just voicing a character. It would be very interesting to see. We've definitely been confirmed. Most of the majority of the roles have been confirmed now of who people are playing. One of my favourites being the Thinker, played by Peter Capaldi. Who he looks like, apparently, from what I've read, and I could be wrong, I do apologise, fans, he's like the main bad guy. So
yeah, I know he is a bad guy. I don't know if he is the main bad guy, but I know that he's a bad guy.
But that's going to be very interesting, in my opinion. It looks very good, and I can't wait to see it. And it's James Gunn. Honestly, if you don't know who James Gunn is, just watch one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Who, no matter what you say,
look back at Twitter a few years ago.
No, don't do that. Actually, this is something everybody keeps forgetting about, is the fact that he co-wrote... No, he didn't co-write. He wrote Scooby-Doo. The films, Scooby-Doo films.
Yeah.
Which everybody keeps forgetting.
And they are
the Scooby-Doo films were kind of like pretty actually good.
Yeah, they were not half bad. Yeah. They were... The problem I have with them, and this is a very weird problem, the problem I have with them is the TV series, the whole TV series was... people going around and debunking that these ghosts or these aliens or whatever were just people in costumes. Like, they didn't exist. Like, paranormal activities didn't happen, ghosts don't happen, aliens aren't real. And then both the films completely ruins that by going, hey, look, we've got fucking ghosts that are actually real, and I don't know. It made for good films. Honestly, they are really good films for early 2000s as well. It's just a good early 2000 film. They always stick in memory for that. And that's definitely in good part of James Gunn's writing. So it'd be a bit cheesy at times. Early 2000s.
In the Discord?
But no, I am pretty excited about the Suicide Squad movie, just from the cast. Because again, I don't really care that much for DC.
Yeah.
In the general overarching universe, but of a specific region to have like a strong cast, because it's like John Cena, Peter Capaldi, Idris Elba, Taika Waititi, and being directed by James Gunn.
You forgot
Flula in it?
Yeah, Flula's in it.
I haven't heard about Flula in like four fucking years, bro.
I just say, no spoiler. It's not really a spoiler if you've seen the video. He plays a discount fucking Aquaman. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, come on, though. I mean,
I can't wait to hear it. Like, just hear him in the film, because he has a wonderful accent.
Jason Momoa is like the hottest man on earth. You cannot compete with that.
I know.
I'm sorry.
But Flula is a close second. Nathan Fillion's in it, which is again.
Flula's a close second, and maybe a fourth.
Nathan Fillion's in it, and if you don't know who Nathan Fillion is, all I can say is just watch the Unenchanted short film someone made on YouTube with him. He is a natural Nathan Drake, sorry, in my opinion. If they made a film about it, I know it's now Tom Holland, the official film, but Nathan Fillion would have made a great Nathan Drake, in my opinion. He just fits the role so well. But no, he's in it. It's just got a wonderful cast, and James Gunn being a very bright character and having bright films, fun films, both well written, well directed, well edited and shot. I'm just looking forward to it, and I hope it doesn't make the same mistakes the last one did, especially when it comes to advertising. I think that's what definitely had a few issues with the first Suicide Squad is, hey, look, the Joker's in it, and then they literally showed more of the Joker in the trailers than they did in the film. So
yeah, that was interesting choice.
Yeah, interesting. That Joker, to be completely honest, that version of the Joker I kind of enjoyed. I wish he was in the film more.
I don't think he was a particularly strong one. Like, he was all right, but
which Joker is this? Sorry,
in Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto.
No, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Jared Leto.
I didn't watch it, so.
I wish he was shown a bit more, because he could have had a decent character arc, and he was more of a like he's too big for himself sort of character, and that definitely fits the Joker.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting to see.
The stuff I know about the Joker recently was the film Joker.
Yeah, which everybody's now saying is a shit film.
Yeah, because it kind of was really pretty shit.
Okay, so it was a shit film by standards.
Well, no,
but it was...
that's okay. Let me correct myself. Let me just make my point.
Yeah.
The film was okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't particularly awful.
Yeah.
It was just kind of neutral, but it had a very shit community response, and I feel like the vast swathes of people that talked about that movie didn't really understand the movie at all, and it was just kind of annoying.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Carry on. Yeah. Right, you guys do that. I'm just gonna be 2 seconds.
Oh, beautiful.
I hope you checked chat, by the way. I'm not sure if Charles did, unfortunately, but.
Oh, I will have to tab back from my article on stuff.
I also realised that I lost his camera view at some point because he just turned his camera off on
what
Discord.
The fuck is? Oh, it's because we swapped channels. It's a high quality content. What the fuck is this?
Yep. And I was trying to think of a safe way to word this for stream.
Of course it does.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to think of a safe way to word this for stream.
I saw that. I was like, oh no, the fact that Nathan Fillion's in there is like not a good idea.
I'm trying. Yeah, are any of these other characters are any of these other actors returning to the Suicide Squad film? Do they have like some sort of blackmail on them?
Is Sean Gunn is, but obviously Sean Gunn's in basically every James Gunn film.
Oh, he was in Firefly.
Who? Sean Gunn?
Fillion.
Oh. Yeah. That's. I think that was one of his top. Well, I say top roles. In my opinion, most noticeable roles.
It stars Sasha Grey.
Yep, I saw that one.
Mm-hmm. One of them stars.
One of them has Adlan. God, Sarah, I can't pronounce his name. Tudyk. Wow. Fuck me.
One of them stars
Tudyk?
Belladonna, and if that's the Belladonna I think it is, then that's some pretty hardcore acting right there.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's a very interesting series. I'm gonna have to go and check this out after.
Yeah.
This is high quality podcast content where they have no idea what we're talking
Chat,
about.
I recommend James Gunn's PG Prom for you.
That's the one.
So I'm just looking at the characters. So
what happens if your school prom was guided by your parents parentally?
So I just want to go back to what we were actually talking about and Safe for Work, being the new Suicide Squad. We've got Idris Elba playing Bloodsport. So it isn't Deadeye.
To be fair, I don't recognise any of these characters.
None of these characters.
I don't read the comics or watch anything to do with
this. It's the problem I had when I watched Endgame, because when I watched the first Endgame movie, I hadn't watched a Marvel movie in like a long time. And I caught up and then watched Endgame. And I was just like, I can't even remember who half of these people are. Like, is Hawkeye like the Thing still? Or is he just like dead now? Like, what's going on? And I couldn't remember what was going on. It was fucking chaotic.
So okay, so I'm just reading through these names, and some of them are amazing. And I'll go through who's playing them, and I'll give them a brief description maybe. But the thing I like about this film is the fact that James Gunn isn't afraid to go away and get the obscure characters from the DC universe and not stick with like Batman, Superman, or that. Like that's what I like.
To be fair, like I'm gonna say some hot shit right now with someone that just said he doesn't really have a preference towards Marvel or DC. But Superman is a shit character with absolutely zero fucking interest, and so is Batman.
Okay.
They're awful.
Batman in the right universe is pretty okay.
Like,
Superman.
What is Batman? A guy that wears a tight suit and a bat mask and kind of just punches people? What's Superman? A guy that punches people in a tight suit and can fly. Awesome. Wow, that's really exhilarating, guys.
It's best when they're showing off like really unique tech and using Batman's intelligence, which is done very rarely, to be fair. Because Batman is like meant to be a detective, as far as if I remember correctly. far as
I was
stands.
gonna say Batman's meant to have intelligence, like.
You wouldn't get it from watching. I could be completely wrong, but from watching some of the like films and universes.
Yeah, Batman
in,
seems like a fucking like thicko.
He
for
just
lack of a
he
better
just seemed
term.
like a meathead in a lot of them.
Okay.
Not that Superman's meant to be much better.
Superman's is something.
It's just so generic as a hero goes, which I mean, I
Yeah,
guess you
I find
need.
them. I find them both really generic.
Mm,
Not to say that Marvel isn't free of that. It doesn't
No.
also suffer from that problem because it absolutely does.
yeah.
It's just that from what I have been exposed to, because there is a much wider active range of characters and cast in the cinematic universe of Marvel, there are more interesting characters to me.
Okay, so
I don't know what goes on in. Sorry to keep ranting,
No,
but
no,
I
don't
don't know
worry.
what goes on in
No,
like
it's
the
good.
Superman movies or like the Batman movies. Like I know that like the main like the bad guys exist and such, right? Like there's the Joker who's a bit of a twat and changes actor every like fucking week or some shit, and everyone
Right.
gets annoyed about who's the best one. And same with Batman because apparently they just change actors constantly and all that shit, right? Fuck knows for Superman. I literally have no knowledge of that entire franchise.
Hmm.
But like
Okay.
with Marvel, at least it's like in all of the 4 movies, there's like 6 other major characters relevant to the Marvel story that are involved, right?
Hmm.
Like you've got fucking Daddy 4, Mummy 4, the guy that runs the fucking teleporty beam that I can't remember the name of, and the bad boy Loki, Tom Hiddleston, and whoever else I miscounted. Whatever, but you get the point, right? There's more interesting characters, but from what I've seen, and again I haven't watched them, but it just feels like Batman is just like there's Batman, generic bad guy in the outfit, and the Joker, and it's like there's no fucking why would I watch this? It's like fucking cardboard. There's nothing here. Have you made a movie yet? Where's the story? Add
Okay.
characters. I'm being very critical of DC.
Okay, so I was just reading into these characters, and it's genuinely making me want to like watch the film even more because I feel like James Gunn has literally just gone out and made a film that he just wants to. Because
He kind of does that a lot, which
which
want him
works
to do
really
in this
well.
case.
Yeah,
that's
like
with that web series.
as mentioned, Guardians of the Galaxy were genuinely some of the best Marvel films, just because it was James Gunn under the and making them, and the soundtracks for them were amazing, mainly because he handpicked them.
He sound.
Yeah. But okay, so I'll start from the top of this website. We have, as mentioned, Idris Elba playing Bloodsport. He is a character that basically is.
Can we? Sorry to interrupt. Can we
Yeah.
play a game where we guess what this person's like powers and
Okay, yeah,
abilities
actually,
are
no,
based
we
off of
will.
their name?
We will. So we've got Blacksport. What would you guess who he is? Like,
Blacksport.
yeah, Bloodsport. Sorry.
Okay.
Because I was reading
right.
another character's name. Sorry, Bloodsport. Because I was reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is the ability to do the most gnarly surfing, but only on hemoglobin.
Okay. Healthy.
My guess is that he'll be like a not overly buff but buff guy in a darker black and crimson suit, and he has the ability to
You'll never guess this. I guarantee you.
to walk up to people, and he does like a really cheesy grin and says, "Hey, are you O positive? Because I'm O minus." And then that's all he does.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
That's
those are
even
good guesses. We don't have confirmed answers for the film because we don't have confirmed knowledge on it. But
You are not James Gunn. Can
Yeah.
confirm.
but one of the versions, or the version he was in the comics, sorry, allowed him to teleport weapons from other locations.
What?
Okay, I feel like there's a problem
Right.
with this.
Yes.
Okay, this is already
You know in
weird. Okay, so
CFCs
he's
when you're
Reaper from
slashing-
Overwatch.
Yeah, you know when
Yeah.
CFUs when you're slashing a skeleton and it suddenly spawns in a fucking explosive barrel? Is he gonna do that with a nuke?
Oh,
Yeah, what's
fucking-
the limits on this power? Can he like
literally,
pull in
that's all
full
it
nuclear
says.
warheads or like
That's
pistols?
literally what it
Interesting.
says. It tells a bit about his backstory, which he was drafted for Vietnam, and then he was manipulated by Lex Luthor into blaming Superman
Of course, it was
for
Lex
something.
Luthor. Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I
the
didn't
next
realise that
character
universe was connected.
is
Right.
Savant, played by Michael Rooker, also in
Okay,
Guardians of
so-
the Galaxy.
Presumably something telekinetic or
You're
what's the
kind
other
of
one?
close.
Yeah, sorry, what was the name again?
Savant.
So like either reading stuff via mind or moving stuff via mind, telekinesis. Or,
Okay.
what's the other one? Or whatever.
I'm gonna say something a
Purple
bit more out there. The ability to manipulate the perception of like text and media, so like he can make someone read like something different in a book or something.
Okay. You're kind of close with the with him.
He's Superman
Yeah,
2.0.
Yeah, you're kind of close, as in with
Lex
the smart
Luthor
mind.
abandoned him as a child.
He's a certifiable genius, especially with computers and hand-to-hand fighting. However, he has a downside.
Okay, where did he get his
He has a
certification
downside.
from?
He has-
That's a weakness. He has a downside.
He's a genius with computers and hand-to-hand fighting. However, he struggles
He has
with
to always be
short-term.
teaching his
The
mum
combo
Facebook.
that always come together.
Yeah, no. However, he struggles with short-term memory.
Gotcha. So it's Dory from Finding Nemo or Finding Dory. Pick your poison.
I genuinely can't wait for this. This next
So
one's even better, and I genuinely. No,
Okay.
What the fuck? Who thought of that?
So is he just gonna walk into every scene and be like, "Wait, what am I doing here?" Like,
Yeah.
Oh, it says here also something Gunn's comedic sensibilities could take advantage of. So
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah.
Great.
I think the recurring joke of him having to pull out his phone to check his notes because he's a computer
Yeah.
whiz to remind himself what he's doing is gonna be real funny.
I'm not kidding you. This next one is even better, just because of the description.
Okay.
This
Oh,
next
God.
character is called Javelin. This is the one played by
Javelin.
Flula Borg.
Ooh. Okay.
Take a guess what his power
So-
is.
They have the ability to like use the earth, like summon rock javelins and spears to throw at enemies. But oh man, what's the downside gonna be? Judging by the last one, they're just gonna terminal kill.
Yeah, Alfie.
If
No matter what
I-
you say, the real reason is even better.
So it's played by Flula, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so I think
Oh, actually, no. I'll
it's
give you
gonna
context.
be-
Can I just say something? The actual character is also German.
Okay.
Oh, good God, there's gonna be loads of
Okay.
speech jokes. Gotcha.
Okay, so he's gonna be in a dark green, almost seaweed-esque suit.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
I didn't
don't
even
ask
think
why
about
I'm
that.
coming with this. I don't know. Right, and he's going to serve the purpose of throwing javelins out of his arm, kind of similar to Venom, but he sort of just throws his arm like a string of javelin, and a spectral javelin appears and it flies across. And when it
Okay.
lands, you just hear the amazing quote, "Daddy Longlegs, who did name you?"
Right, you're both very wrong.
What?
According to this website,
Nonsense.
there is no confirmed power. All it tells you.
So they've just made him up for the film?
no,
Are we allowed to do that?
no,
He's just a random guy.
Genuinely, this is the best part. He is an actual character from the DC universe, and on the fan, this is all they put on the website. On the fans wiki, his description is, and his I guess his backstory, and this is, I guess, his power is the man who would become the Javelin was an Olympic athlete
Yeah.
who,
Okay,
for
that makes
unknown reasons, became a criminal.
Oh yes.
Also,
Finish writing him?
he's German. He tried to fight Green Lantern.
Gotcha. We've got to shill Green Lantern
Okay,
him because it's
okay,
one of the only
okay.
other
So-
recognized heroes.
So
in that
this
universe.
fucking supervillain from the DC comic universe is a German guy that got into an argument with Green Lantern once.
No, a German athlete who carries
yeah,
a
Presumably
javelin.
for
the
throwing
Olympics.
javelins. Here's where they pull out, but he's like
Oh.
silver and pole vaulting or some
Right,
shit.
so we got the next character.
Okay.
This is Polka Dot Man. Yeah,
Come on, really?
yeah.
He's a clown in an afro with a big red nose.
Is that your guess?
So far, yes.
Alfie? Genuinely, his power is genuinely the best.
He wears a polka dot suit with like like a grid
It's
drawn over
Mr.
the polka
Blobby.
dots, right?
Yeah.
It's
And the way it
DC
works,
Mr.
it's an
Blobby.
optical illusion, and when you stare at him, he starts to wobble from side to side.
Oh my
So
god.
you can't hit him with your guns or your javelins or whatever you
Right.
shoot him with, because you see him wibble wobble.
Okay, so
I'm still going with DC.
I genuinely thought you were going to get the answer right when you got to the polka dot suit. He, according to this website, according to his backstory, he's a guy who developed a costume covered in polka dots. However, not however. Not however.
I was going to say, I wondered how this was going to be a however. However, it had stripes on the back.
So with these polka dots, each one of these polka dots transforms into a useful item when torn off his suit.
So a limited use go-go gadget. Is that what I mean?
The thing is, I want to know: does he get to pick what it is, or is it just random? He just pulls it off, and it's.
Can he sew new dots on?
How has someone murdered Inspector Gadget and Mr. Blobby?
I just want to know if they're random or not. Like,
can go, Blobby, go.
Can we watch this film purely because I have no clue what's going to happen?
Right, this is the next one, and this is quite a decent character in my opinion. I will say now, this is a clue since you haven't got any of these right.
Oh.
The name is very, very, very easy to guess what their power is.
Okay.
The next clue. Yes, because the next
Fly man.
You're close. You're not close, but you're. It's an obvious name.
You're close.
The next character is the rat catcher. Now take a wild guess what they do.
In a past life, he was an exterminator gone rogue. Now he only served to release the rats he caught back into the city.
So it's a random Polish dude that works for an extermination agency. He's got no known power.
Oh my God.
And he wears a rat costume at the local gas station.
Okay, so for context,
you know the scene in Deadpool where they're in Deadpool 2 where they're hiring all the people and then just the bloke comes in at the end.
Yeah.
They've just got all blokes, haven't they? But
that's true. Okay, so just for context, it's a her, it's a lady.
Oh. Damn.
So you're wrong on your guess. Alfie, got any ideas?
Exterminatress, my bad.
Yeah, it's a Polish dude.
Okay, so that's your guess.
Polish woman now. Yeah.
Okay, so
Polish rat.
I wish you were right. The rat catcher lives in the sewers.
Oh man.
They can. She can talk to rats, and she commands them like a rodent army.
Excellent.
That's not much of a cat.
It's basically
Ant-Man. If you could delay, I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay, no worries. It's literally Ant-Man. It's literally DC's version of Ant-Man. Control an animal and have an army of them.
I cannot get over these characters.
The polka dot man is. This is why I can't wait, because James Gunn's going to have so much fun. The only one I feel like is going to be cheap is the Savant. Just like he walks into the scene. Where am I? Sort of idea. But the javelin. I want to understand the javelin. What's his superpower? Does he just have a javelin and he doesn't actually have a superpower? He just hits people with the javelin.
Yeah. I feel like he's just going to be there for like one scene where he hits someone.
By the way, I'll put it in Royal just for Alfie to see. This is what he looks like. So... so...
It's such a low budget costume. It's literally one suit and a stick.
Oh, and just because you really liked this one, this is the polka dot man.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. Oh my good god.
Oh, I just want to know, does he have control over them? I hope it's random.
I really hope it's random, so he's just constantly grabbing it himself, pulling out random objects.
Oh
my god.
There's okay, so let me just read this. So from what I can tell, there's only one character in this film that confirmed that hasn't got have been made up for the film. And you know what the really funny thing is? It's Nathan Fillion as well. So he probably does have some blackmail against him.
Oh god. Right. Some very slightly off topic while we wait for Phelan to return.
I can't wait to count. And we've got how many were there?
Only because it's something that I know you'll be able to talk about a little bit.
We've got 5 characters left.
But it has been confirmed that Lionel Messi has requested to leave from Barcelona.
Yeah, I saw about that. We were talking not too long ago.
So, F He's a good sports guy, from what I hear.
He's one of the best. Not better than Ronaldo though. Oh, we've got 5 more characters, and they get better like as we go down. Oh, there's one on here that's kind of generic.
Okay.
Right, you're back.
Welcome back.
So the last one I heard is Rat Exterminator.
Yes,
Did I miss
Rat
any, or-
Catcher.
We didn't continue value. We waited.
Oh, thank you.
Although I
Um,
would just like to point you to Royal Com so you can
Oh,
see
yeah.
the exceptionally high budget costume Flula's in as
Oh
the
my
Javelin.
God.
Polka
That-
Dot Man.
they just look like well, Flula's looks like a wrestler from the early 2000s,
That's true.
and Polka Dot Man looks like a kid's imagination of what a Russian astronaut would look like.
You know who he looks like?
Do his polka dot sizes affect what comes out?
That's what we said. I really hope it's random.
Yeah, no. I do you know what I imagine him as?
Right.
In like an alternate universe, that's what the caretaker was from Trapped,
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, yeah.
and he was just like a weird polka dot tower. And
Honestly, the way that this is going, that will genuinely be one
Yeah.
of the
Right,
heroes.
so we've got
villains.
5 characters left, Phelan.
Okay.
The next one is played by an actor called Steve Age, and this is called. Oh, so okay, I'll correct that. It's voiced by someone called Steve Age, and this is a character called King Shark.
They're a shark.
Yes, and that is
Okay,
literally all it is.
It's just Jaws.
It's-
It's just Jaws.
It's literally just says King Shark is a shark. And that's all you need to know. Can I just point out though, the image of him is a bit. I find him a bit disturbing.
Good
I
God.
mean, I just found this when searching.
Oh my God.
Oh,
This
right.
doesn't look good.
You ready for the
Okay.
next character?
Mm.
Yeah,
This
really
is-
over me.
This is character played by John Cena, and this
I forgot he was in it. I keep forgetting.
this is a
Yep.
character called Peacemaker.
Ooh. I want to lean on the war vet thing, but I don't think they'd have done it for another character.
I'm gonna say that he is just a revolver, just a sentient revolver.
Okay. Well, he doesn't have. So it doesn't give him a power here. All it says
Okay.
is that he's normally a good guy. However, in the behind the scenes, John Cena said he's a douchey Captain America. However,
Potential war vet.
the character's official tagline is a man who loves peace so much that he's willing to fight for it. So,
Right.
I
Okay.
think
quite a
that
change
sums him
from
up.
some of the others.
yeah, I think he's the most generic character out of them all, though he could still have some fun. For context, I'll send an image in chat. He quite literally just has an elongated desert eagle. And wears a silver
Interesting.
silver
Some
skin.
good accuracy over range.
So, the next guy.
Again, just a 2000s wrestler.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
like
it
these
really,
costume
it
designs.
really is the wrestler theme.
That's
Isn't it?
what I like about it. Is it's going back to that like the comic book, the old comic book style looks. The next guy is the one we spoke about before, the Thinker, played by Peter Capaldi. What do you think is? You'll never guess this. What do you think
It
his
just doesn't
power
sound
is?
like he has a power. It just sounds like he's vaguely intelligent. Sorry, certified genius. Like the other guy.
He has indeed received his genius certificate from the
Mm.
Genius Certificate Institute. I'm going to say that he has like a minimal costume. He doesn't really dress up or play himself
Mm.
up too much.
I'll
Then
I'll
he's
send you
a
a picture
flat
after.
carbon copy ripoff of Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Instead of like a magic dimension powering him and monks, it's like he's just really intelligent and knows how to do shit.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And Phelan? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So this is what he looks like. Before I tell you what he does.
There's a
And
bit more imagination on.
Interesting.
the Thinker's power, is he is so intelligent
Mm.
that his ability to consider all variables and motivations nearly amounts to clairvoyance. However, there is a however to this guy. There is a downside. His brain needs so much energy that it's permanently aged him.
What?
I thought you
So
were going
what
to
do
say
we-
something
what do
even
we-
more stupid, like he has to eat constantly.
So what are we talking? Are we talking like a nuclear reactor? Can he take an Anker 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack with him, or is it like a Back to the Future situation?
I don't know, but it does say that Peter Capaldi could be playing a 22-year-old. Who knows?
Right, oh, okay. So they're gonna be like, "Oh, you look pretty good for a 22-year-old,"
Yeah.
and he's gonna look, "Oh, right, okay."
So
right.
The next one, this is where I got confused. I misread the names because of the first one. The next character is played by Pete Davidson, and he's called Blackguard.
Queen's Guard.
No.
He's just a beef eater.
Okay.
Can I?
No, you can't.
He wears a cloaking black robe that shadows his wispy, malnourished form. And he hides in the darkness at night, guarding all of the good of the world from the evil of the world.
No.
Damn.
Blackguard can create energy constructs, but mostly uses them to make maces and shields. So basically, Green Lantern. However, it says that this guy seems to have guns. So his power is quite useless because he has guns.
How many of these people can be defeated by guns? Like, intelligence isn't exactly going to stop a bullet, last I checked.
This next one, though. This next one...
Just quickly, whilst you're posting these, are all these images from the same site?
Yeah. But
why do some of them have the actor names and some of them have the character names?
No, that's from the video. Don't know why.
Right.
The next guy, I was wrong, but there's 7. The next character is TDK, which, as I was telling Alfie in the stream earlier, is the only character on here that I can see is actually made up for the film. Or written for the film. Wasn't actually in the DC universe.
Some of the others weren't? The ones that we have no information on? Okay, right.
So this is TDK, and this is played by Nathan Fillion.
Oops. Yeah.
From what I can see, he doesn't actually have a power. Oh, wait, no. Wait, I'll let you two guess, because I've just written his power. Okay, TDK. You're never... Okay, so I'll tell you what TDK stands for, because it actually kind of... I'll just tell you what it stands for. You ready? Okay. TDK stands for the Detachable Kid.
Right, this is either very creepy
or... Okay, I feel like we're getting a bit Lovecraftian here.
So they can split into multiple people. Hopefully not an actual child just detaches off of them, because that would be weird. Although I'd love an 11-year-old to just detach, run over, kick Peter Capaldi in the balls, and just be like, stuff you, old man. Or someone.
So, there's a character in the hit anime series, My Hero Academia. This entire premise in the show is to be an annoying pervert. And he can throw grape balls at people and they stick.
Okay.
So I'm imagining someone saw that and then had some horrific nightmare where in reality it's just like a pregnant woman with a child dangling on the umbilical cord below her.
God.
But she can just like throw it and then like it sticks and like starts eating the thing that it's attached to and then she can pull it back. That's my vote.
Okay, so You're both wrong. I just want to give some context. So this is what he looks like.
I'm kind of sad that we need context for this one.
I was slightly wrong. He's a rename of a failed Legion member from the DC comics.
Yeah, for God's sake. Okay.
And this is DC going into their creative books of wizardry. The character that they renamed him from, and you can see why, was Arm Fall Off Boy.
My God.
So you could probably guess that his power was he can pull off his own arms and use them as blunt weapons and reattach them.
I love that you have to specify blunt weapons. Like they don't suddenly get a sharp blade. That's how generic it is. It's just his arms.
He can't use both of them at the same time, though.
Oh, I assume they move like independently of him. No, but just...
Yes, and apparently that's yes.
My power will astound you.
Either a chicken pox or really bad eczema. I can't tell.
So that's TDK. I'm interested to see how they do that in the film. So yeah, that's TDK. Next we have Weasel, which is played by Sean Gunn.
Damn. Okay.
Which I think is just them going, hey, look.
Someone quite nimble.
Okay.
Yeah, presumably just like the fast guy of the group. I guess.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. It's called Weasel. I don't. Maybe he is like a anthropomorphic weasel.
Oh, okay.
That's just really lazy and just kind of sits there nibbling on like what do weasels eat? Weasel diet.
Okay.
Nibbling on small rodents, mice and voles.
You've currently come the closest to guessing their power.
Sake, of course.
He is an Wow, you said the word.
No.
Okay, he's an Wow, I was practicing this word.
You'll get there.
Anthropomorphic weasel.
Mm-hmm.
But he's bloodthirsty.
Oh man.
So he's just an angry anthropomorphic weasel?
Yes.
Yeah.
And as I showed Phelan, this is what he looks like healthy.
Wait, I was
showing again, does he have...
Oh, that guy!
Yes.
That's what you showed me. What the...
I know!
Okay. Again...
Okay.
Does he have any other powers? Because I feel like there is quite a lot of human weaponry going back thousands of years that would not struggle to deal with this guy.
Not from what I can tell.
Okay, so he's like a couple pistol shots from death. Cool.
And so, yeah, I feel like a well-placed pistol clip would take most of these fools out, but there we go.
Okay, so do you want to know? This is even better. His origin story, or at least his origin from the comics.
He was bitten by a... No, it can't be radioactive.
No, it's very much like Javelin Man, or Javelin.
Okay.
What?
Weasel.
He's a German guy.
No. Weasel was a man who couldn't hack it into an academy or academia. So he dressed up as a weasel and started murdering his competition.
Why a weasel? What?
What do you do?
It was the first thing he saw in my shop window. I was like, nah, I'll take that. Or it was on sale.
Honestly, this is... okay, so the last character on here is Mongal.
Mongal. Could you spell that for me?
Mongal.
Okay.
Oh, Mongol.
Yeah. Or Mongol, yeah. Mongal.
Okay. Oh, man. Presumably just a very generic hack and slash.
Yeah, I'm gonna just like imagine
how are
like
they gonna turn it?
the most like just like the most generic like fucking like if this is like all of these have been like old characters, so it'll be like an old DC character, like early video game, like Metroidvania style, like hack and slashy dude. He has armor and a sword and swings at things. Wow.
So it's a go.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
And she is the daughter of Mongol, who is the ruler of Warworld, a planet designed...
Sorry, Warworld.
Yeah, a planet designed only for gladiator battles.
What? So the Colosseum, but dry.
Wars.
Yeah. She basically has all her. She basically has all his powers. So I'm just reading into what his powers were.
Okay. Good. Being able to fight.
He has the ability to teleport. He has limited telekinesis sight and a little bit of telepathy. He can blast. Yeah.
Can he telephone as well?
He could project blasts of potent force via his eyes, hands, and chest.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He can resist half-power Kryptonian heat vision at point-blank range. Basically, he's basically
counter to Superman.
Yeah, he's fought Superman on multiple occasions apparently.
Presumably Superman 1.
Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, that's Like, yeah, so he's a very powerful character he can teleport, he can get into people's minds, and he can move shit.
Right. Okay.
And she, I assume, can do the same stuff.
Kidding?
Yeah, I know, their names are so interesting. So I'm interested to see who else is playing people, because we haven't got, like, who are the other big names? There's a few other big names we haven't been told who are in the movie yet.
It sounds so awful, purely based on the names and their backstories.
I think my favourite one...
It's so bad that I kind of want to see it, but I also don't want to pay to see it.
My favourite one is definitely TTK.
God.
I like his original name.
Armful of Boy.
I feel like it's really clear.
Mm.
You know, when you read Arm Fall Off Boy, you think, yeah, this is a guy whose arms don't fall off, but he can pull them off.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what you think of.
No, his arms just don't look anything special in that image you sent as well. Like, thicken them up or something, or add, like, studs.
Bro, they can be used as melee weapons. What are you on about?
So, something else, this article hasn't named all of them. We do have Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie, coming back.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Suicide Squad, to be fair, about the fan service.
Oh, okay, so there's some characters here they haven't named, but I assume that's because we haven't got much information on.
Or because they're still writing them.
Yeah, we've got Amanda Waller. She's a stone-faced... she's the stone-faced creator of Suicide Squad, which is nice to see her back. We've got Joel Kimmerman as the Colonel Rick Flag, the guy back. He was the one who commanded them. He was the army man who basically just talked, you know. We've got the exhausted supervillain nanny, Captain Boomerang.
Shit, I know her. She stars in the new Watch Dogs game.
So, and then as mentioned, Harley Quinn coming back. So it seems like an interesting cast for sure.
That's a lot of people to give screen time to. Like in the first, all right. Spoiler alert for the first Suicide Squad. Alfie, I assume you don't care.
No, not at all.
In Suicide Squad, they kind of got away with having so many characters. Not that there were that as many, because they killed one of them off, like fairly quickly.
Did they?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
the guy who was literally just Australian. I can't remember him being special in any way.
Oh.
Because he's like, all right, I'm out of here. And then they blew him up because no shit, they put explosive collars on all of you, dumbass.
Okay. And again, the thing is, I feel like that film could have been so much better because it was, I don't know, like I want to say, I haven't seen it, but I want to say a large portion of it was set in a prison. Or like, okay, so I feel like it is literally just, like the first 30 minutes is setting up the characters and then the rest of the film is them fighting.
Right, yeah.
And it's in a dark, most of the time dark scenes, fighting God knows what, because I don't actually remember, but it was like...
They were like, weird humanoid blobs.
Yeah, it was an odd film. I hope James Gunn does well with this, and it'd be interesting. What we've seen so far, it looks like, and from what they said, it's sort of like a 70s war action film. The first maybe bit of it, maybe first half. So I don't know how they're going to write that into the story. Looking at it being Margot Robbie, I don't know if they've just recast her because she is a good Harley Quinn in my opinion. But maybe is it connected? The fact they've also got
I'm interested to know what they did with the rest of the characters that they've managed to write Harley Quinn back in, but the others are like, no, they're gone.
So actually, there's a bit of a basic idea of what this film's going to be like.
Right. A mess.
Oh, it's literally just the normal Suicide Squad. Okay, thanks for that.
Oh.
So yeah, that looks... I'm excited just because of the characters, and it's fucking Harley Quinn. Also, the new Batman looks decent. I saw a fact earlier saying they've only filmed 25% of the film.
So what Batman universe... Is this a new Batman universe?
I don't know.
Is this continuing on from a trilogy?
I assume it's a new one because it's a new actor.
Okay, yeah.
And it looks decent, to be honest. It looks more darker, more grittier. And it looks like a Batman that actually will make sense. This is kind of like I don't know how people think about it, but we got the Zack Snyder's cut. Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, which is a lot different from what I've seen.
And Charlie gave that one a thumbs up.
Yeah, we've got a new trailer for Wonder Woman 1984, which for some stupid reason they brought back a character they killed off in the first one in quite a decent scene, in my opinion.
Okay.
Genuinely, I'm kind of annoyed by that. And then in the most recent news, we've got Black Adam, played by The Rock, so he's finally in a comic book film.
He's been in comic book films before.
Not as a main character, is he?
Oh, I'm sure he has. I will check this whilst you carry on.
He must have somewhere.
I don't think he has.
Unless
I was going to say, unless you count Jumanji as a comic book film. No, you don't.
It's a board game film.
So yeah, Wonder Woman. The thing is, Wonder Woman looks really good because it's an 80s film, and I hope they have that sort of synthwave look to it. It does look like they do at some points.
Bullshit, he's only been in that many films.
Yeah, he's not been in many.
You're taking.
Don't forget, he got a lot of his fame from WWE.
So what are we saying? Was it comic book? Sorry that we.
Yeah.
Okay, let me check how this series started. Because I can't remember if this was a comic book or not.
He was in a. Is it Doom by any chance?
No.
That's a film nobody wants to remember.
So this was action figures, so potentially not. Oh no, it did have a comic series.
Oh, what, G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
That was a cartoon, wasn't it?
I think it was that as well. I am seeing.
I think it was.
Origins.
I think it was a cartoon because it was the American version, or basically the American version of Action Man.
Like I said, it definitely had a comic, and that was in the. Oh, sorry, G.I. Joe. It does actually. G.I. Joe originated from a comic strip in the 1940s. So, haha, technically right. And I'll keep looking to see what else he's been in.
Yeah, DC have definitely just given us everything, and a lot of Marvel fans are like, "Where's our shit?" There's not really much Marvel can show off at the moment, in my opinion. They've gone into Phase 4. Nobody cares about this, but they've gone into Phase 4. So they've just announced films. The only one we know that's confirmed coming soon is Black Widow, which looks okay.
Yeah, he might have been the main character.
We've got a new villain in that film, which is... Oh, I can't remember, but he's a character that basically learns off other people. Right. He's a copycat. So in the trailer, we see him using the shields like Captain America, using bows like Hawkeye, fighting like Black Widow, and like flying around or something like Iron Man. Like he literally just copies people. Oh, Shield! I don't know what this version of film's like. So yeah, that was definitely an interesting talk about DC. That definitely didn't take an hour. Fuck me. That conversation about the characters.
We went through a lot of incredibly detailed and exciting characters.
One day I'm just gonna go. We're gonna do that again with obscure characters from like Marvel, like next week or the week after. I think that's gonna be a fun.
Yeah, you can criticize Marvel for having obscure characters all you want, but they don't put them in their fucking movies, do they?
No, that's
just
true.
Look at the roles that he's done, like including apparently opposed, like the normal voice roles, a few producing credits. He's apparently filming one of the films that he's coming up in that's TBA called Red Notice.
He's becoming president.
Interesting. I didn't know he was much of a thing. He was involved in the character design for a few video games, which basically I'm assuming that means they took pictures of him and went, "Here is generic muscly man."
Probably.
Let's have a look. I think that's about. If there's anything else particularly interesting, I think it was definitely the most notable appearances or odd appearances.
So the
Family Guy. In Family Guy.
Oh man,
that's off brand.
If someone hasn't got a credit as themselves in Family Guy or The Simpsons, they're not famous. Yeah,
I'm willing to use that metric.
So yeah, something I just wanted to quickly briefly go over, which I know neither of you are very interested in, is...
Oh yeah, because DC was...
Yeah, true. Black Ops has finally had more information coming out. That's being revealed tomorrow. I don't know how they're doing it because apparently it's in Verdansk, which is the Battle Royale map on Modern Warfare. So I wonder if they're going to do it sort of like literally like copy Fortnite and just have a massive.
What was the
screen.
Gulag place called from Black Ops 1? Was that Verdansk as well, or am I just being silly and misremembering?
I don't actually know.
I can't remember what it was called now. I know as soon as someone says it,
Yeah. Vortuka.
Ah, damn, yeah.
That's a good guess. That like good shout though. But like for those who don't know, it's there's been rumors that it's a direct sequel to Black Ops 1, which is good for me. Good news in my opinion, and that
good news for
yeah.
me, lads. I'm cashing in at the bookies.
And there's a confirmed, like a rumor that it's there's going to be zombies, which makes sense. It's Black Ops. If it didn't have zombies, they're literally just not going to get any sales. So
yeah,
I'm
it just
interested.
wouldn't be Black Ops without zombies.
So I'm hoping it has a decent story, honestly. That's one of the big parts of Black Ops that I enjoyed. Good characters and an amazing multiplayer. But we'll have to wait and see. Just wanted to briefly talk about that. And lastly, I just wanted to talk about our wonderful adventures we've been having in both the skies and the sunny seas on Sea of Thieves and Microsoft Flight Simulator. And how we work perfectly as a crew, be it both trying to give you directions of flying, as we can see in our videos, or navigating the sea.
We did a lot better flying than we did in the sea.
Oh, most definitely, yes.
Well, maybe not you.
Most definitely not. But we've had a lot of fun, and we'll probably be streaming a bit more later tonight.
No, I've been enjoying Sea of Thieves. I didn't think I didn't think I would not enjoy it. Wait.
I enjoy it enough to play it with you guys.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be like unbearable. I thought it would be like decent, something to do with friends.
Yeah.
But I actually kind of got into playing it. Like, no offense to you guys, but it's kind of, I prefer playing it when it's just me and someone else.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't take it seriously.
But like,
to me, it's just
so
a lot
more
generic
manageable.
and repetitive. But that's.
Can one of you speak at a time, please?
No.
No, so if we just keep speaking at the same time, I was really enjoying.
I had fun on the harpoons and throwing the fireball.
Yeah, like I don't know. I've been enjoying the game though. I've been learning more about it in the emissary, and me and Reese have been getting more and more. I don't want to say like try hard, but ambitious with our stuff.
Like, I'd say try hard. Having watched the stream yesterday, I believe.
And we've been watching some. We've been doing some stuff, researching about different things and learning all the symbols in the sky and what the cloud means and how to like nail the Krakens the best and shit. It's been good fun. We've been having a lot of good times with it.
That's good.
I like the PvE aspect a lot more than I like the PvP. If they were to bring out a non-PvP mode, I would play exclusively on that. Because it's not that I don't necessarily enjoy PvP, it's just kind of annoying when you want to like chill.
Oh, fair.
I don't think they even need to necessarily do much to the servers. Like, I don't feel like you need to have a PvP disabled server. You just need to be able to enter like a pacifist mode where when you're in that mode, you can't attack other players and other players can't attack you. And it's like, there you go. You know, they can't attack you, but you also sacrifice the benefit of being able to attack them. Like that seems perfectly balanced to me.
No, that's fair. I understand that. It's because it is a very adventure-based game.
Customs.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they're doing because apparently September might be a big update. So I'm interested to see what they add. Hopefully it's not more. Hey, here's more events sort of update and more. Here's actual stuff to the game. You know, content. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm surprised that like what it's like. When did it come out? 2-3 years ago. They're still adding stuff to it, which is always a nice sign. And Rare is one of those good companies. Like Rare, unfortunately, them being bought out by Microsoft kind of did go not the best for them. But they did make great games back in the day, and it was like Sea of Thieves is definitely.
Then? Like, remind me.
Like I remember them. So like Donkey Kong Country, Battletoads, GoldenEye 07.
Donkey Kong Country, I vaguely remember.
They made GoldenEye, the original GoldenEye.
Okay.
Banjo Kazooie, the original. Their bestseller, Kinect Sports.
I'll be honest, I didn't know that they did a lot of.
Yeah, they made all the banjos from what I've seen.
Their first. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they were a really, really good company when it comes to games, and then just like they had like a spiral where Microsoft bought them and then they made all these Kinect games and like not the best.
Yeah.
But then Sea of Thieves seems to be a big up for them, and that came out in 2018, by the way, so 2 years. So I'm glad they're still working on it. It is definitely they are a good a good games company.
Great country.
And I'm glad to see that Sea of Thieves is doing well. It did have a poor start, like No Man's Sky, but they've been working on it, and I think they've got it to a better state. I wouldn't say it's a good game, a perfect game at least, but it's definitely better than it was when it launched.
Issues, yeah.
And talking about issues, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh boy.
Right, it's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
There's still issues though, and as far as I'm aware, I haven't heard about them talking about adding a patch, and I don't think they've done anything patch-wise.
I imagine they have
Still
stuff
waiting
in
on
the
it, though.
works.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big patch at this rate, though.
Yeah, that's
But,
what I'm worried about.
Yeah, the game just shouldn't be out yet, quite frankly. Like, flight models are fucked, autopilot is fucked. Like, if there's a few other bugs with just like the networking, although I'm not sure how much of that is necessarily in control of studio name, I forget. And how much is actually just locked away by Microsoft, but still it sucks.
And I remember you appearing just offline all the time, despite being online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's more of a Microsoft issue, not the actual game.
Recently
that's why I was
sees
mentioning.
like offline for me, but then I see it's offline for him, but then I'm online for everyone else, and everyone else online for me, and it's like it's fucking Microsoft networking. Anyway, there's just a lot of issues with the game, and it's the annoyance is that they're inconsistent. If there was like a problem with AP where you could always work around it in a certain way, it would suck, but at least you could work around it. But you can't, because every single time AP is going to do something slightly different, because it's just buggy as shit, and it's really annoying to try and work around because there's no consistent pattern for you to be able to work with. It just doesn't work half the time.
Like, okay, so you say the flight model is a bit weird. I personally like it at the moment. And obviously it is probably one of the best looking games to come out in recent time.
Oh yeah, it's still like a great technological challenge. And,
I'm still surprised though everybody's saying that it's the new Crysis. I genuinely don't think it is. Yes, it is an intensive game. Yes, you do need a decent a beefy PC to play it at ultra settings at like 4K. But it's not like what Crysis was back in the day. Like Crysis was almost impossible to run at max settings when it came out.
I mean, yeah.
And this isn't one of those games. The only reason it struggles is because it's just inconsistent. Because it's like, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's poorly, not poorly coded, but like poorly optimized, or it's to do with the way they actually create the maps. But it's inconsistent, and that's still causing issues, especially coming into big places. Like London works fine when I play on London, fine. Dubai still like just runs at 2 FPS, and I genuinely don't understand why. So,
yeah, there's inconsistencies like that for sure.
We'll probably be streaming it after, maybe, I don't know, and having some fun on there. I just wanted to just give a little announcement, a little teaser. We could potentially have. And I'm just saying this is a very maybe, we potentially could have an actual guest on this podcast in the near future.
What? We weren't even told about this.
I actually asked a developer if they wanted to be on.
Holy shit.
And he said they're a little busy, but they may do something in the future. He then asked for the podcast, so I sent him a link, and I doubt I'm going to hear back from him.
Yeah, I'm saying. So now we're not going to have a guest.
But you never know. They are a wonderful developer team, and it would be nice just to get like I don't know, an actual podcast where I ask questions.
You realise you should probably write these questions down beforehand.
Yeah, I will when if they do come on.
Okay.
But that's something I just wanted to say, because you never know. It would be cool if we could just have someone to talk to and ask questions, and actually have like a proper sort of interview-esque podcast talk show. And obviously it's for it's for a company or a developer that made a game that I'm interested in, and so I'd just like to ask some questions about that and see how it's been and all that. So you never know.
So what's a game that Charlie's been interested in that he's had good talks with? EFT comes to mind.
No, I wish though. They're all Russian, so I doubt I could get one of them on.
I know someone who can speak basic Russian.
What's Charles been?
I think Alfie knows.
A pretty good idea, yeah, but I can't say because it's NDA'd.
No, it's not anymore.
The game that was NDA'd but isn't anymore because I can't remember the name of it.
That could definitely be it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Gotcha. So that's who it is.
Maybe.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So,
yeah.
The fact that he said we're a little busy, I hope he doesn't bring. Imagine if he brought the whole fucking dev team on.
Yes, that's absolutely what's going to.
That would be fucking fun. No.
Oh yeah. Blizzard released a trailer for their new World of Warcraft animated series.
They're making a new World of Warcraft animated series?
Yes, they are. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be. It's part of the Shadowlands expansion sort of remit of content that comes out. And in general, not that I'm the most into WoW specifically, but I have seen pretty positive reception from it. And it comes alongside leaks that came out, good God, the year's gone by in a weird way, probably like a year and a bit ago now, where it appeared that they were working on a Diablo animated short with possibly a Netflix, and we're also looking for an Overwatch animated series. So if that is the case, then this is obviously promising that they have definitely been working on a 2D animation lineup of content for their franchises, which will be quite exciting if you care about those franchises.
Nice.
A little bit.
Also talking about the I suppose podcast and stream, mostly. Oh yeah, me and Phelan had a good. Well, what took me a few hours, Phelan probably a few minutes conversation with Alfie here. That my audio is going to be getting in the near future. My audio is going to be getting better in the near future.
Bloody hell, confirmed.
Yeah, reason I say that is because it takes me hours to read a sentence. But that's something I've always said. I don't know how many times I've said that now, but I'm like, I'm gonna upgrade my audio because this it's breaking. I don't know why, but I don't know why it keeps going really deep voice, and it's just annoying me.
Probably not the mic. It's probably Windows. Audio on Windows is so fucking bad. I would go to the extent, if I really had an expensive audio setup, of just having like a Linux or Mac machine and then piping that out into Windows, because Windows is so buggy.
Yeah,
it's so horrific. But no, yes, Charles is gonna likely be running probably an SM7B.
Yeah.
Alongside another SM7B.
With my Audi R8 parked out the window.
With your Audi R8 parked out the window. One SM7B for your voice, one SM7B for the engine rumble.
To be honest, and to be completely genuine, I am tempted to go for like I know you're going to be very like, don't do this, save your money, but I really want to go like nice interface, sort of like not cheap, but an okay mic. Like, I haven't heard anything bad about the AT2020.
The AT2020 is a good mic. It is above okay.
And I was tempted to just go I haven't actually looked at how much they are, but from what I remember, they weren't too expensive.
This is pulling straight off the top of my head, but I think the XLR version is like £60.
Yeah, it's not too expensive. And then like going for decent 729.
79, yeah.
It's not next day delivery. How dare they?
Take it back, chat. Give it another month or so.
I don't know.
Was there two?
I was being an idiot. So yeah, and then I'll get like I'm tempted to go for like the interface you had, because then that's around the same price as the mic I wanted to get in the first place. That you were like, don't get it because you're a dickhead. If you get that. So
what mic was that?
The Rode NT USB.
Oh no, you can get the Rode NT USB. I just
wouldn't.
It's not a bad microphone by any means. It's just USB microphones. People need to understand that they serve a different purpose. Like a USB microphone is limited to USB as an interface, so you have the benefit of it being portable, right? If you want to take a laptop with you and have a mic that's high quality and sounds good for doing a podcast recording in like 4 different hotel rooms on a business trip, it's fucking stellar. It's great for that shit. But that's not really useful for a home audio setup where you have the flexibility to actually use XLR and get a proper pipeline set up.
Yeah.
There's
What would
nothing
you
wrong
say?
with USBs. It's just they're not the right type of mic for what you're doing.
What would you say about a mixer instead of an interface?
Well, they serve different purposes.
Okay, let's not get into this conversation because this would literally last hours.
Okay.
It's just because I saw
Nice.
a mixer which was a little bit cheaper, but it was by the same company as the interface you have.
Oh yeah.
I will actually send a picture. There you go.
It's not necessarily
That.
the
It's just a
case.
very basic one, like it's cheap and basic.
A considerable amount of mixers will have. It will principally be interfaces in the sense they'll have a preamp
Yeah.
and such in them as well.
Right.
But it's also not necessarily that. Hang on, let me get this fucking thing up on my screen.
Would you recommend, just for safety, then getting an interface?
I mean, I would ask principally why would you want that specifically? What would you use it for?
Just because the mixer.
Well, what would you be mixing on it?
Some
Cake.
sauce, yeah. No, I don't know.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so that's got a... What preamp does this have? Give me actual specs. Fucking bearing a website. Please be useful.
Good luck.
Oh, it's useless. State-of-the-art Phantom Parrot Xenix mic preamp. Comparable to standalone boutique preamps. Yeah, sure. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
It's more than reasonable.
I don't know. I'm tempted to just go for like the same ones you got, but like ideally,
It just depends on what you'd be using it for, really. Because what you've got to think, why do you need a mixer? Like, what are you going to be mixing?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, are you sending your phone in and you're going to be using that? Are you going to have a separate device playing music? Are you going to use it for multiple mics? Like what's the plan?
Yeah. I'm probably just go for like a basic interface with 2 inputs.
Yeah, I would say for you the best is go for that. Because you can still principally have 2 inputs. Then like you could have a guitar and a mic if you were doing something like that, right?
Yeah.
And sure, they're in most cases with Windows drivers recording to 1 track. In some cases, if you're lucky, it will go to 2. I haven't used the Behringer UMC 204 HD in a while, so I can't remember if it has separate tracks for each input or not. I think it does, but I can't confirm that because I haven't used it in a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would recommend that because you can still have dual channel input and such. I don't think you really have need for a mixer, especially not that particular one because it only has 1 XLR input and that's kind of limiting to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go if you're going to go with a proper mixing board. I'd get something a bit better.
Wait, does that one have? Wait. I was gonna say, could I plug in this Blue Yeti into that one and use that as a second mic? But
yes, you probably could.
it's got an input for it, but I don't know if that would be able to mix
It's
with
got
it.
line inputs and 2-track inputs, as well as a headset input for a mic. So you'd likely be able to plug it into the line inputs or the headset input. If you plugged it into the line inputs, though, you'd possibly need to boost the signal a little bit.
Yeah. No, obviously I don't get paid for another week, so.
No, yeah, the Blue Yeti can be used like a standard mic because it has a 3.5mm out.
I'll probably get it.
Use that like as a monitoring channel and send it into whatever you're doing.
Yeah, most likely I'll probably get an AT 2020 just because it's a good starter one, especially like it's good quality. It's like an actual good one.
Yeah, I feel like you should be scoped in. Like your mic doesn't sound bad by any chances now. I feel like getting an AT 2020 and an interface, you wouldn't necessarily notice like a sudden jump in mic quality, but in the flexibility of what you could do with your mic, you'd obviously have a lot more potential there.
Yeah, and it's just like I say,
have finer control.
Nobody should ever use. You should never use the word future proofing, but it's sort of like I feel like you've got more customizability in the later line, I guess, if you get like a full XLR setup because there's so many different things you can do with it.
Absolutely.
I've just genuinely found one of the weirdest looking interfaces.
I mean, there's some weird shit in audio because
like, I love the look of this because it's retro.
Ooh,
but
yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that.
I bet it's gonna cost more.
It's 151.
Yep.
Like, ideally, I didn't realize interface. I forgot how cheap interfaces were, and like,
I mean, yeah, like audio equipment has a pretty large range, man. Like, you can get pretty cheap stuff to pretty fucking damn expensive stuff. Like, you know, I mean, if you were going like hardcore, like not that you would ever do this for fucking streaming, but like, if for some absurd reason you were like, I'm gonna spend 40 grand on fucking audio equipment, you could go down to fucking Focusrite and hit up whatever their fucking audio networking is called that I can't remember, and you could be having your fucking mic go over Ethernet across your fucking room, and all that shit, and like, there's plenty of shit you can do. It's just like so unnecessary.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of like, because there's other things I want to do, like I want to get a new lens for my camera, as I spoke to you guys, so I want to do a multicam setup, and I want to get.
You can get mixers that have a good range of EQ on them as well. There's this is called the Zenix Q802 USB here. It's 2 XLR in, 2 6.5 in, individual gain for both of those. And then you've got equalization across all of those, and output gain on top of that. So that would be something that, like, if you wanted a more advanced setup, you could, you know, bring into the game, because then you have the ability to actually equalize your mic, which you can do in software if you wanted. But obviously, you generally get better quality with DSP or analog processing. So
yeah,
there's plenty of options.
Yeah, I'll look into it soon.
It's pretty much just what you're going for. But the benefit of something like an interface, right, is that down the line, if you bought a mixer and were just using straight that as your interface, then that's like your limit. If you want to upgrade your mixer, you're now replacing your interface, right? Whereas if you just buy an interface, that can be your interface for like 10 years, and you can buy a mixing deck and just plug into the interface from that, and have your mic go into the mixing deck and your guitar go into the mixing deck as well, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like, having an interface is an entry point that can be used, rather than relying on something else to be your entry point, and you don't have to worry about ever replacing that entry point principally.
And while we were talking about that, if there's any audio companies out there that want to sponsor us, the knowledge we have, you're more than welcome to. And I'll definitely look into it. And I'll probably go the interface route, because as you mentioned, you can then just upgrade from that. Not upgrade from it, but like add to it.
You can add into the pipeline, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, and then
interface is the endpoint entry to your computer, and you can stick a compressor and an equalizer and whatever the fuck you want in between that.
Yeah. And there's a lot more stuff I need to actually do before I get that, because I've got no room to put an interface. I need to redo my whole setup if I was to get an interface.
I mean, it's pretty small. The majority of them are pretty small.
But it's something I'll definitely look into in the near future. Probably like in the next week or so.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm actually excited for that. It's going to be fun.
I think you'll enjoy it. I think a lot of people are put off by audio because it's quite
loud.
Yes, it's very loud. It's quite intimidating.
Pun of the stream.
Because people just kind of don't know what's going on, right? Like, you just get so much like generic terminology that people don't give a fuck about. Like, someone's like, I want to sound good, then they end up reading on like impedance, and they're just like, I don't want to sound good anymore. And it's like,
fair, yeah.
Frankly, at the end of the day, I feel like people need to kind of like worry less about that and just kind of dive in with something basic. Don't go splashing your money on stuff at first. That's stupid. And just get a feel for like, what's it like to have a hardline setup? Like, what's it like to use XLR for the first time? It sounds stupid because it's just a fucking cable, but it's, you know, what's it like managing your gain? If you've got that interface, if you take the one that I've got, it has the ability to pad the line, right? So it'll down the gain a little bit and try and remove a bit of the noise from the line, to try and make you sound a bit better. But then you have to boost the gain even further, and it's pretty shit and actually pretty useless. But it's there,
yeah.
You know, so you can do shit like that, and you might be able to get a sound. You can just sort of mess with stuff like that, and then obviously doing that for the first time opens you up to working in and mixing with and shit a bit data, and you can get into more, equalization and mixing and shit like that, in a couple of years once you are a bit more comfortable with it.
That's fair.
Because really is just like it's just analog math. Like it's not that complicated. Like the more gain you add, the more noise you get, because preamps add noise because it's electricity, and electricity is not very smooth 90% of the time.
And honestly,
that's a good thing or a bad thing in certain situations, and you can do a lot to get rid of it, and you have to balance it out, and it's just a bit of maths. It's just playing with it.
Yeah.
Turn knobs until it sounds good.
And honestly, I'm gonna keep this Blue Yeti because they don't. It's a few
There's
years
no
old, so I'm not gonna get too much money off it. Actually, I wonder how much you actually take for it.
If anything, it's because that Blue Yeti is USB, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, that can be your podcast transport mic.
Yeah, it's also like if, for example, if my girlfriend comes back on, or if any of you guys come down, I've got another mic for you instead of trying to then just up the gain and have it in the middle of the both of us.
And I'm not sure what the how much it's going to be able to drive, but if that 3.5 out is strong enough, you might be able to get a good clean signal on the XLR2 input on the interface going into 6.35 down the middle of the XLR input, because they can fit both of them in the same holes. And if you can get that, then you could use the same interface, and you could have a balanced single channel.
You've got to be
channel support for that in drivers. I can't remember again.
You've got to be shitting me.
What?
Out of all the the Blue Yeti, I've got this shaped one. Out of all of the Blue Yetis they have, my color one is the cheapest they buy for.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rip.
I don't know why, but wow. But no, it's also like I've got ideas of stuff I want to do. I really, and I don't know what, but I really want to get streaming building PCs. So that is a hobby that is extremely expensive. But it's something I'd love to do, and I have a dream. Well, it's not even a dream setup. It's a setup I can do for fairly cheap, and that I would love to do. Okay, so to describe it, I will describe it because I've never really spoken to you guys about this. I really want to basically add to this. So I'll get a second camera. Probably the same one. You can get them on eBay for around 150 on average, so it's not too expensive, especially for a mirrorless camera. And then about 150 for the actual capture card. That's about 300 all. But it's just a second camera, but high quality, and that'll be like a wide camera. The actual main camera that I really want to get. So this first one I don't actually. So I need it, but I only need it because of my current camera. It's something called a small rig, and the only reason I need it is because my camera doesn't have what you call a hot shoe. Are you guys aware of what a hot shoe is?
Remote shutter.
No.
David Tennant playing the Doctor that time when he had to shake his shoe because it was irradiated.
On the top of a camera, you normally have where you put like a Rode mic or a flash, and it goes on that metal bit. That's called a hot shoe or a hot shoe mount. My camera doesn't have that. I'd have to get something called a small rig. Basically, I'd get a small rig, and what I'd do is I would mount the camera on a steady rig or a steady cam, a nice one, two-handed holding one. I'd also put on the outside, on the left or right, a small monitor, one you would probably get for previewing footage on a camera, and I'd attach that to the small rig.
You could get a 1080 24-inch one.
No, that's too big. Literally, it has to attach to the camera. That would be plugged into my PC and acting as a chat. The reason I would have that is because this would be the main camera that would be focused on whoever's building the PC behind me or doing whatever, playing a board game. So then whoever's actually looking at camera can always have a solid view of what the chat says. And then you would have a camera, like a monitor to the right where there's big chat on there, like a nice 24-inch.
A nice 24-inch, you say?
Yeah, a 24-inch on vertical monitor there, so everybody else can then see it. And then I don't know why I thought about this, but it's something I really want to do. Though it's probably never going to come to life because nobody comes to my house.
To go.
But it's like I think the best way I could describe it is I want to do Linus Tech Tips live stream production on a small scale.
Okay.
Have you seen LTT live streams?
I love a description.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
That's like, have you seen the WAN show?
Okay, no, not the WAN show.
To be fair, inside of Float Plane Information, they are building a set for the WAN show.
No, not the WAN show. You know when they like live stream him building a PC or whatever, or like They just live stream a random thing.
I see. So you're talking about like the PC build challenge
Yeah,
recently?
yeah.
I
But
think
sometimes
we'd be
I
better
do.
at moving liners between the correct Discord channels at least.
Yeah.
But like that's something I'd love to do. But I do plan on getting a second camera. Phelan here kindly showed me some nice lights, which I will definitely get. Because they are much better ring light. Honestly, the ring light I've got is good, as you can see, but it's a bit harsh in my opinion. Isn't the best for what I want it for. Or you know, you can never. I never get the best.
It needs a bit more diffusion.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm really tempted to just get a cheap softbox off eBay, but
you can. I mean, to be fair, I don't know what how far away the ring light is necessarily, but you could probably deal with just putting like a thin white cloth over it. Would probably do it some good.
A softbox,
because
softbox really
you
like
can
a few
see very clearly the light pattern, and I feel like just diffusing it a bit would help make you a bit more just softer in the lighting.
Yeah. And then the new lens, but that's like all to come in the future. Definitely the mic, because I didn't realize I didn't realize XLR actual like the mic in the setup wouldn't be too much. I'm tempted to just.
It's not that much more. You can get. I mean, you can get an XLR mic for like £10.
Oh no, the thing is, the XLR setup I'm thinking of getting.
It, but you can.
No, the XLR setup I'm thinking of getting, and I'll just. So this isn't guaranteed. This isn't set in stone, but most likely it would probably be. You know what? Just because I'm keeping this, I'm probably going to go with the how do you pronounce it? Behringer.
Right.
The single XLR input with an 80-20-20 because that's about 145, which is roughly, I think that's like £20 more. Maybe it's not too much more. It's about the same price as the Rode XE USB, to be completely honest, for the interface and the mic.
Yeah.
So honestly, I might as well just go for that. And then that's always a good start. It's cheaper than the NT USB. £5 cheaper. And then, as mentioned, like if I want to get a better mic, I can get a better mic. If I want to get a better interface or add a mixer to it, I can add a mixer to it. That's definitely something I'm going to look into. But yeah, no, I'll keep this as mentioned for like on the go podcast. We may do some in the near future. I say near future. We're definitely going to do one at some point because we were going to meet up, which was meant to happen ages ago. We were all going to meet up host wise and do one that fell under because of this pandemic we're currently going through.
Us personally,
but I feel like we can still do one soon. Like I would love to do one.
We can do one within legal guidelines, yeah.
Yeah. I think literally at the moment the audio setup would just be the hardest part.
I mean, the thing is, if we're planning that, I have equipment. Like I can bring stuff.
I have the camera and
like the worst part about my audio setup is the mic.
Yeah. You've got the Scarlett mic, don't you? Still.
Yeah, and it's not even that it's necessarily a bad mic. It's just it's old. I've had it for a long time, and mostly thanks to family, it suffered some pretty bad drops.
Oh god!
Such as me being like, "Hey, I can give like £150 towards this birthday gift that we've all agreed to get me, and because it's really expensive, can I do that?" And they were like, "No, you don't need to do that." And then they got me a boom arm that couldn't support the weight of the mic, and it fell off and hit the ground. And I was like, "Well, what a surprise!" And if you know anything about mics, them having hard impact falls is not a good thing. But it still works.
It's true for most things.
But you know, like it I want a better mic. It annoys the shit out of me. But it's also like it's not something I need. Like I still sound decent enough.
Yeah. No, I love your setup. I remember seeing it. And experiencing it.
The last time I was in a call with someone, I hadn't been in a call for a while, they said I sounded radio, and I was like, yeah, I hate how I sound. It sounds awful. But you know, sure. If you think I sound good, there's so many problems in the audio. I've got no pop filter. It's not really equalized how I want.
Trust me, I don't have a pop filter. I have.
Doesn't seem to have made a difference. To be fair, but it's like a £5 pop filter.
Yeah, my pop filter was a pretty popping pop shit pop filter, and as you can see, it does not do a popping thing.
That seems alright.
I mean, hang on, let's try and move it and say that same again.
Okay.
My mic is now not without a pop filter on this pippity poppity
Oh yeah,
podcasty poppy.
you definitely notice it without the pop filter. Sorry, it's
Interesting.
definitely doing
Makes more of an
So-
effect than I thought it did then.
Oh yeah.
So I just want to make sure there's condensed mics, and then what's the other one?
Well, that's the
No,
thing.
what's the two main
There's-
ones?
The two main ones in XLR mics is condenser versus dynamic.
That's it.
There are other types of mic, but it's mostly condenser versus dynamic. Are you looking for me to explain?
No, that's enough.
No, I think you should.
Nah, don't worry.
Damn.
No. Yes.
No, don't worry.
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I'm gonna look into what to do very soon. I'm excited. Camera wise, that's probably not going to happen for a fair long time, but I would love to get a second camera, especially if we did a real life one, just so we can get more points of view. Ideally, I would like to have a wide camera and then a camera for each person, but that's a lot of money and a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
We've also got the main issue of my camera genuinely won't record over 15 minutes by itself because it will overheat, which is a massive issue with my camera. It's just the camera itself.
Well, I'll tell you what. That'll be a video on your channels. We'll water cool it. If LTT can do
I'm
it
not
with a red
kidding you.
camera.
I'm not kidding you. I looked
right.
up how do you fix this issue, and the first video I saw was someone making a little ice bath out of tin foil, don't ask why, and just putting it on the back of the camera.
Easy. See, we got this.
You know what? We could do that. Why don't you guys come
stay
over
tuned for that.
and we'll make that
Down for that.
video? Yeah,
There
definitely.
we go, Charles.
We'll definitely have to plan on some videos like this. I think it'll be a bunch of fun.
Oh, and there goes Charles.
And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I genuinely think we should do that because I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it could be an entire podcast episode. We could sit there and chat about stuff while we
I'd love to.
disassemble your camera and ruin it.
I'd love
completely.
to. I'd love to make a video, a podcast where we just like make some Lego or ideally build a PC. That kind of, this is off topic, but it kind of reminds me of the story you told me in school of when you were building your PC. You asked your dad to hold something or put something somewhere, and he somehow didn't get it right and potentially broke the PC or shorted it or something.
I can't remember.
That was a fun time.
I remember that, like, I walked out of the kitchen at some point and my mum was like, "Oh, cool, what's all this shit?" and like nearly poked her finger right into the socket. It's like, I'm sure
Oh,
she
yeah.
wouldn't have applied much force, but like, you know, like, oh god. I tend to just keep them away from it now.
Fair, yeah, I'm the same.
no, it's-
Like, when I installed my new NVMe SSD, I literally just got under my desk and just laid on the floor and did it while, like, just taking the side panel off and leaving every in the same position as normally because I just could not be asked. Which was
That's
actually
fair.
a horrible decision because it was incredibly painful on my back, but there you go.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway,
Yeah.
got anything else anybody else like to talk about? Wow, that was a sentence.
It was. Nothing jumps to mind, but
No, I think that's pretty much that.
We'll probably be streaming Flight Simulator after this.
Relatively soon, I
Yeah.
think, is the goal.
Yeah, thank you very much, you guys. I think this podcast went quite well. It was an enjoyable one. Had a great
That's very
segment at the beginning, which we'll definitely do again. And we came up with some ideas that we'll definitely have to do in the near future.
yes,
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
specifically on Charlie's stuff.
Yes. Though at Phelan we'll have a video out in the next week. That's a promise. But no, yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, is there anything you guys want to promote or shout out?
Me.
Right, there you go.
You do be kind of right though.
Check out Delicious on YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube.com/delicious. D-licious. Is it D-licious? Oh, D-licious on the URL?
Oh my god. No.
Okay. There you go.
And I'd just like to shout out a world where Tactical TV has
Better audio.
Thank you. Is that what I sound like?
Mhm.
Nice. Right, yeah, no, thank you very much, you two, and thank you everybody for coming in. Hopefully this podcast gets to at least 2 million views. And yeah, as always, have a good evening, good day, good night, good morning, and we shall see you in the next one.
Unless we don't.
Wow. And for the YouTube viewers, I just wanted to say.
Oh yeah, I forgot we do this thing.
Yeah, we're doing this from now on.
I like the YouTube outro. If I was to say anything specifically to the YouTubers, I'd really want to.
I prefer you to the Twitch lot.
To make it personal and clear, and I wouldn't want it in any way to be a dragged out, lengthy statement that's going to get cut off as the recording is ended.